Cassie, and today me and my friend Carla are going to be teaching you all about the Iron Lady, or as we call her by her legal name, Margaret Thatcher. Now, Margaret Thatcher, originally Margaret Roberts, was born on October 13th, 1925. Her father owned the local grocery store and was very successful with it, but he also decided to participate in the town's politics and became a councilman. He even became mayor. Margaret herself attended school at Kesteven and Grantham School for Girls, and then studied chemistry at Oxford. At Oxford, she became the president of the Oxford University Conservative Association. After graduation, she became a research chemist. In 1951, she married a man named Dennis Thatcher and took on the name Thatcher, and about 2 years later, she had herself a set of twins. In 1959, Thatcher finally won the election to Parliament as a Conservative member for the district of Finchley. She had previously tried twice before in a Labour-dominated district, which was why she couldn't pull off the win. But 4 years later, she became the Prime Minister of Great Britain. She would be the Prime Minister for 3 consecutive terms and about 15 years. She kept moving up the ranks of Parliament until she finally became Conservative leader in 1975, the first woman to head either major British political party ever. While Thatcher was gaining power, she happened to insult the Soviet Union and their beliefs after she didn't like the fact that the Soviet Union wouldn't intervene in Angola, and she also strongly opposed any weakening of NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The Soviet Union retaliated by naming her the Iron Lady in hopes to villainize her to the public, but this somewhat backfired as she adopted the nickname and became a part of her political career forever. It's her legacy now. Margaret Thatcher had to deal with her fair share of issues when she was Prime Minister. Let's make it simple. We'll start with the economic. When she first came to power, there was a huge inflation going on. Her main policy to get elected was to fix the inflation, and she did it in a kind of roundabout way that gained her some unpopularity for a time. During this time, there were lots of labor parties and there was social unrest. Everyone was really freaked out because, everything was getting more expensive and you weren't getting paid more. Now, out of all of the issues of Margaret Thatcher's run as Prime Minister, Argentina may have given her the biggest headache. Now, Argentina wanted the Falkland Islands. The Falkland Islands belonged to Great Britain, but after Margaret Thatcher started to rearrange the defenses to try and protect Great Britain itself, the Falkland Islands were kind of left abandoned, and Argentina saw this as an opportunity, and they invaded. This led to a full-out war. So during this war, possibly the most controversial British decision was the sinking of the Argentinian carrier, the Belgrano, because at the time it may not have seemed unwarranted at all. I mean, Argentinians had a fleet at sea, there were battleships, and the English were just doing their job. But it cost Argentinian lives, and a lot of people saw it as too excessive. After the sinking, the Argentinian carrier group retreated to the port, and they played essentially no part in the war. So Thatcher made a really brilliant move on her part, but at the cost of Argentinian lives.
Thanks, Cassie. Thatcher also won a degree of influence in the White House, unmatched by any other known today. When Ronald Reagan was elected president, he was influenced by Thatcher's analysis for the Cold War. Reagan also developed a military defense called Star Wars. Cue the music. Thatcher helped Reagan when he needed allies. The definition of ally. Ally. Noun. Definition. A state formally cooperating with another military or purpose, typically by a treaty. a person or an organization that cooperates with or helps another in particular activity. Even though Reagan and Thatcher were very good friends, they also had a lot of disagreements. Thatcher was infuriated by Reagan's failure to offer backup to Europe after Argentina invaded the Falkland Islands in 1982. Another fallout in 1983 when U.S. invaded Grenada without dignifying Britain on this attack. Despite their differences, Reagan and Thatcher were very good friends. Reagan was more of a big picture person, while Thatcher filled in the little details. This partnership is what helped end the Cold War.
All good things must come to an end. And in 1990, Margaret Thatcher's run as Prime Minister started to come to an end. After she had imposed a particularly tough tax on her people, her own political party rebelled against her, and she was forced from office. Now, when she died in April of 2013, after a period of long, poor health, and she finally suffered a stroke and died, people literally sang The Wicked Witch is Dead, as she wasn't very popular in some places, especially like Argentina. Now, let's just take a moment to admire Margaret Thatcher for who she is. A somewhat cold, ruthless, iron lady. Despite all of that, she actually did fix her country's economy and win a war. She fixed relationships in the United States and renewed Great Britain's strength in the world. And although you may have been a little cold-hearted, you probably didn't deserve to have everyone sing Ding Dong, the Wicked Witch is Dead when you died.
Ally. Definition. A state formally cooperating with another military or other purpose, typically by a treaty. He was forced to dismiss his closest political ally.
What are you doing? Come here.
Okay, stop it.